welcome to Lesbian Talk episode 100 and something teen. It's a real number, look it up.
It's 100 and something.
100 and something teen.
Okay, if you say so.
I invented it, it's a real number.
Sorry, we're backed up. Like, see, it's not my fault. It was the end of the term and I had to hand in my dissertation and do
We're not backed up, you're backed up. I've watched all the Doctor Who.
I was busy, like, accomplishing vague things.
I was busy editing stuff.
I'm gonna get a piece of paper in July that says I'm smart. So there. Like, you have written the required number of words. Have a prize. You also spent a shit ton of money for being an international student. Have a treat. It's a piece of paper.
Which, you know, thinking about it, actually isn't that smart.
No, it's not really, but maybe I'll get took out to dinner. So, anyone who believes that my parents should take me out to dinner after I graduate, comment below.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was the point where we'd only missed 2 weeks, and I was like, that's cool, we'll just watch both of them, and then we'll do a whole Doctor Who episode. And then I had to study for exams, so I became like, we'll just catch up fuck it, we'll do it at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I gotta get kicked off channel also.
The next one may well be 2 Doctor Who's, we'll see.
It'll probably be at the end of this week, because that's the beginning of June.
Yeah.
So we'll get to it. I promise.
But I've been watching them while I've been editing, so...
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
That was, like, so passive-aggressive.
Pyramid at the End of the World wasn't very good. With a bad ending.
This was a good episode. Although when we saw the trailer for this episode in the beginning of the month, I actually emailed my father to be like, you need to watch this week's Doctor Who on BBC America, because it contains the fantastic David Suchet, who I think my mom still has a crush on from like 20 years ago when he was in Poirot Investigates.
When his Poirot had a much more sensible mustache than Kenneth Branagh's.
Or Peter Ustinov, who isn't even like trying.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll get to that in the second half of the show.
Yes, the first half
Okay, we have to set the groundwork for this.
Yes.
We went to Asda on Thursday because we had to go up to Coleraine because I was staying the night over because I had an exam.
You had an exam first thing on Friday.
Yes, so I had to stay up in a town that's about almost an hour and a half away.
So it was either stay the night or leave here about 5 in the morning.
Which was not happening before an exam. But we said to my parents-in-laws, hey, do you know what? If you drove us up to Coleraine and dropped me off, we could go to Asda. Because if there's one thing both my mother and my father-in-law enjoy, it's visiting foreign exotic Asdas, not the one down in Strabane.
Yeah, because out of the big chain supermarkets in Northern Ireland, Asda's the one that's nowhere near Derry, so they take any excuse they can to go to one.
I mean, Asda is good. The only thing is, it gets a little bit weird because Asda is owned by Walmart, so you'll see signs that say rollback, but without the little Walmart emoji. But, I mean, their stuff's really good. There's a lot of stuff we can get up there that we can't get down here, like Philadelphia light cream cheese, the salmon and dill flavor, which I enjoy.
Which, you know, I pissed on.
Why did you piss on it?
Because it's terrible.
Well...
Plus, it wouldn't ruin the flavor.
Shut up! Piss and fish are different things, you know. You do know that, right?
I'm saying that dill tastes like piss.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't even taste like how piss smells like Cheerios. But cereal Cheerios. I don't know why, but I've always...
I fear you were taking this with more seriousness than it was intended.
Okay, I thought you, like, actually... Like, I was... Like, well, because you know how some
Did you actually think that I urinated on your cream cheese?
No, I didn't think that, but then that's where the conversation went.
Okay.
But then you know how some people that have that gene that coriander tastes like soap? So I was like, maybe to you, for some reason, dill tastes like how piss smells. So I was investigating this further. Cognitive psychology person that I am.
Audience, you can't see me, but I'm currently sort of looking at you blankly as though, you know, looking to the audience, studio audience, and going, dude, what the fuck?
She's also wearing a towel, like, around her head because her hair's wet from showers, so it makes it look like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
The Virgin Hagen contains you. But yeah, so anyway, so also Asda has a really great thing. It was called like Wings of the World.
Yeah.
And it was, how was it, like a kilo?
1.5 kilos, I think.
Of chicken wings, but they were like 5 different kinds with different marinades.
Including like Brazilian and buffalo and Chinese and a couple other ones. It was awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, so at Asda, we were looking at the DVDs because that's the first place we always go.
Yeah, fucking right.
And you picked up a DVD, and I said, oh, go on, get it. She said, no, I can't.
Well, to be fair, earlier on...
No, and you like went like this with your hand on your forehead, and you like fell down on your fainting couch in Asda.
No, to be fair, I looked at my bank balance, and it's like, oh, that's less money than I expected. I will not buy a DVD.
Well, it was only £3, and I had said that I was covering what we bought at Asda, even though I had to pay 45 fucking pence. Although the girl that rang me out when I checked out said that next time don't go through booking.com because they take an extra 12 pounds.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But so I said, just get the film. Go on, get the film. So she went back and she got the film. What is it called?
The Beaster Bunny.
Now, in America, it's actually called, I forget what it was.
Beaster Day something.
Oh, it was Beaster Day, The Tale of Peter Cottonhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is about, this is set in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Look, it's morphed with an actual photo of an iguana. We're looking at the cover right now.
In the, okay, when we're watching the film, and the cover makes it look far more impressive than it is.
It's not really very impressive, actually.
I recognize the architecture as being sort of rural Pennsylvania from all those times driving around
very
Pennsylvania
colonial.
with Omega. And then she was like, where is it set? Where's it filmed? Oh, Allentown. I know there.
Yeah, it's in Lehigh Valley.
And,
well, Lehigh County, really.
this film...
Well, no, you had the really brilliant, because you said, wait a second, there was a breakfast cooking scene.
And a scrapple.
I recognize that breakfast meat. I was like, hey, that is Scrapple, isn't it? Maybe this was filmed. And they talk about the Amish, and I was just like, Allentown.
So basically this small town in Pennsylvania is under attack by a 50... They say it's 50 foot, but it sort of goes between 10 foot and 30 foot tall, giant, allegedly flesh-eating rabbit, which is played by a Muppet.
Exclusively killing porn stars. And I just realized that the two scantily clad bikini girls on the cover do not appear anywhere in the film.
Yep. That monster doesn't appear in the film either, because that one actually looks like a monster and not like a really, really, really bad puppet.
Well, you can tell it's like the back and the shoulders of an iguana that's been photoshopped into a butt. Like, the cover art is actually the best thing about this film.
Yeah,
really.
Quite often with this kind of film. It's, the puppet for the giant monster, which has been terribly integrated into the shot, looks worse than a lot of the monsters in Actium Maximus.
It looks like something out of a high school student film, I'll be quite honest.
Yeah. And it's not even good puppetry, but looking like shit. It is terrible puppetry as well. I mean, it's supposed to be like walking, and it's basically staying in one place.
Like rocking back and forth to give the impression of motion.
Yeah, and yeah, bits where it's standing there, but its knees are like jointed off in weird directions and everything. It's, oh god.
And it's like the whole thing is like the town is building up to their Easter Day festivities, and I'm like, you mean Easter, the holiday Easter that occurs on Easter Sunday? Oh my god. So it was obvious that there was some kind of like local town fair that they took advantage of like to film at.
Yeah, they're like, we got 2 days of this town fair. Let's get as much B-roll as we can.
Oh, it's so bad. And here's the thing. It's not even one of those like so bad it's good kinds of things.
That's what it was aiming for.
Like
This is deliberate.
But like they're deliberately going for the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And that worked with Kara's Hell. It was funny and it was stupid, and you're like, all right, yeah, okay, this is stupid, and I got this. But for some reason, this was so smug, it really missed the mark.
Yeah, well, the thing is with So Bad They're Good films is they're rarely done deliberately, because usually to get the So Bad It's Good thing, you've got to have authenticity in the people who are doing it.
Like Actium Maximus.
It's like people who are trying, who are just shit, or everything goes against them, and it creates this weird sort of thing. It's almost impossible to go in there saying, I want to make something that's shit but amusing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for shit and amusing, like, that's also a thing, and that can be good. And when I say shit, I don't mean like it's terrible, I mean just low budget. Like The Taint. The Taint was low budget, but it was very competent.
I wouldn't call The Taint shit on any level.
No, not shit, but I mean it was low budget. But it was very competent. Like, there were parts where it's obvious we're filming in my parents' basement. My basement laboratory. That my parents
The Taint is an example of some of the same or probably smaller budget range, using a lot of the same camera tricks and the same style of camera tricks, but they are far better at it. And it's not just technical competence. It's dynamically directed, the angles chosen, the way the shots are framed, and the way it's edited.
Yeah, and the script is better.
Oh yeah.
And the acting was better. Like, it's just like every character was like a winking heavily kind of character arc, what they were supposed to be. Like the girl who had 6 bachelor's degrees and was an artist, but I won't get a job. No, I won't. You're stifling me. Kind of, and then just the only really sympathetic character was a random side part that was a stepmother who was actually like really kind to her stepdaughter, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But
And the deaths in this are great because the giant bunny is allegedly eating people, but every time it bites someone's head off or arm off or whatever, the next shot is always the body part on the ground, as though he can't actually swallow because, you know, he doesn't have a mouth opening because he's a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
And so he spits it out. Maybe that's why he's so angry.
maybe he just drinks blood out of the carcass. I don't know.
Shot-wise, I don't know if you... I'm guessing that few of you have seen this, but if you've ever seen Axe Giant... That's what it's called in the UK. I don't know what it's called in America, but it was basically...
Paul Bunyan, right?
Yeah, it's the Paul Bunyan horror movie where he's about 100 foot tall. A lot of the similar... very similar feel and sort of visual style.
Yeah, but, like, and a lot of the music it sounded like it was public domain porn music.
Yep.
It really
Some
did.
of it was from Music Loops.
Okay.
They had one licensed song and the rest was taken from this loops thing.
And, yeah, and a lot of the actresses were obviously porn actresses. Like, obviously porn actresses.
Very softcore porn.
Yeah.
In parts of this, if you've seen the subgenre of Canadian low-budget shark films, you know, filmed in the same fucking lake, stuff like Super Shark and Raiders of the Lost Shark and all these ones, it's very similar to that sort of film. However, this one introduces something unique. Full frontal nudity.
Yeah, I was right about to say, like, it's a 15 rated, so that's like what, like PG-13?
Between PG-13 and R.
Yeah, like full female frontal nudity. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so it's like Raiders of the Lost Shark crossbred with the Beelzebub film.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you had these attractive women who just got naked for no reason at all in the woods.
And here's the thing, like, if you were from Pennsylvania, actually, if you're from a lot of kinds of places in the States, you know that the less skin you show in the woods, the better. Because there's poison ivy, there's poison oak, there's poison sumac.
No one tell Beelzebub he'll lose half his shots.
Thorns. Well, because they're dolls, though.
No, Beelzebub, he also did...
Oh, right.
He did more than just Dol Morte.
He did Zombie First, I forgot. But what else did we talk about? There are also what?
Lyme disease?
Deer ticks, yep, Lyme disease. Yeah, so that's like really
There's
scary.
also people from Pennsylvania. Terrifying.
There's this one thing.
They'll bite you.
The mayor is this complete, like, Chief Wiggum, Mayor Quimby, if he was also Bam Margera kind of character.
Yeah.
And he, like, it was done in 2014, but he tries to scapegoat the Amish and calls them terrorists. And he tries to blame it on the Amish for a while. And I had this really horrifying thought that I shared with Hagen, you know, while we were watching this, is, like, I could totally see, this is really horrifying, but the kind of way the country is now, I could totally see some, like, redneck from the Midwest or something having to come through Pennsylvania for something. Maybe they have to drive to Philly or something. And, like, encountering Amish, seeing their beards, freaking the fuck out, and trying to kill them or harm them because they think they're Muslims, just because of the beards. I was like, wow, that's really dark, but...
Human stupidity is...
That's Trump's America!
Is pretty much boundless.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mayor is basically, imagine Rob Ford crossed with a hippie.
Yeah, because he's like... But it's just... Like, he's also like a Captain Planet bad guy, and just...
But he's also, seems to be some sort of environmentalist, also crazy libertarian. He seems to be every single type of...
thing.
Stereotype villain mayor thing all put together at once, and some extra tropes that don't actually go in there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a... Persona-wise, he's got a bit of a dissociative personality disorder because the parts of his personality don't really connect.
Yeah.
It's odd.
It's just...
He's entertaining, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's one guy who in one scene is like this raving evangelical talking about the end of the world, and then plays a journalist at a press conference in the next scene, and all he's done is shave off his little bit of peach fuzz. We're like, you're still wearing the same shirt! You filmed this on the same day!
One of the main characters is this insane dog catcher. Now, the dog catchers...
With a small penis.
In this town, they operate out of what looks like a big studio space for a university art course.
It really does. There's like, you know, copies of like, you know, there's like Playbill on the wall. There's one of the old Reed posters from the 90s with like the 4 puppies on it.
And there's graffiti and...
But it's like artful graffiti, so it's obvious that this is like the local uni's studio.
Yeah, where people stick their work and they're working on it, so you got the floors like covered in paint stains and everything. Yeah. But apparently this is where the dog catchers work.
And they're a private company called Catcher in the Rye, which I thought was kind of humorous. But, like, although that does kind of mesh with a dystopian idea of, like, a city that's so poor that they don't even have animal control. They have a private company that handles it.
I'm really confused as to I would have thought, okay, thematically, it would have made more sense. Why do you have a dog catcher when you actually... I can't recall seeing a single dog in the entire film.
See, I figured it was going to be because he would realize that the only thing that could save the town were all the dogs. He would let the dogs loose, and the dogs would all eat
that would have been good, but they didn't have the budget for that. But yeah, there are no dogs in this film as far as I can remember.
There's no actual animals because they're always like quote-unquote catching squirrels.
Yeah. So I'm confused as to why you had the dog catcher in particular and then the bunny. Surely if you're going to have dog catchers, if you're wedded to that, why not have a giant dog of some sort?
Yeah.
Or if you're going to have the Easter Bunny, then have some other kind of job that doesn't require dogs.
Or just have them be animal control.
Yeah.
Because that is something animal control would handle. Although...
Plus, they could have... Animal control could have used a different pun. I mean, like, Catcher in the Rye was good, but they could have come up with some sort of Night of the Lepus parody for the name of the thing. Also,
this is the one horror movie that cares about your health.
Yeah.
Because one of the characters is an older Jewish guy, and both his wife and his daughter refuse to let him have any, like, saturated fats. Like, he tries many times. And then, like, there's this one throwaway where a guy and his porn star girlfriend are getting murdered in the woods, and he, like, lights up a cigarette, and she's like, I thought you were gonna quit smoking. It's terrible for you, and throw a cigarette away. I'm like, Beaster Bunny cares about your health.
Yeah. And the porn star woman and the guy with the cigarette scene is... It reminded me a lot of the scene in 13th Child, where the couple go off and get really horny by the fact that
the one
in
in the trailer?
Yeah, they're so...
Let's fuck in this trailer that has so many spores and mold and funguses in it.
They're so turned on by the Pine Barrens.
Yeah, like, they come to this, like, abandoned trailer that's been there for decades. Ugh, I wouldn't even want to, like, not with all the hand sanitizer in the world. Maybe, like, in Arizona where it's, like, dry, but mold squicks me out. But, yeah, I mean, it did have one really solidly funny line that I did laugh at. Because the girl who won't get a job gets a job as a dog catcher, and she's paired with the crazy Kylo Ren-ish looking guy. And
he looks a bit like Chris Crocker.
Yeah.
Chris Crocker now, rather than Chris Crocker at the height of fame.
But he does have a bit of the Kylo Ren... what's that guy's name?
I forget the name.
Yeah, that guy. Adam Walker? Is that it?
No, I don't think so.
If you know right the show. But yeah, so she's really hot on his coworker, Hector. And she was flirting with him before. And she was like, do you think... Does Hector have a girlfriend? He's like, well, he doesn't really have time for being a girlfriend. You know, like, being a high-ranking Nazi. I don't know why that just made me laughing. She's like, he's a Nazi? He's like, oh, yeah, Nazi. Hector is Hispanic.
And if this came out several years later, because this came out in 2014, if this came out, like, just 2.5 years later...
She could have been like, he's not a Nazi, he's alt-right.
Yeah, and she would have been much more turned on by him at that moment.
I think it was implied that she's Jewish, though.
Still, in the film, they would have done something along the lines of her being turned on by it.
But, yeah, it was just so bad.
And, okay.
Like, it wasn't even like, I think we got overcharged by £2, because it only cost £3.
The plan to kill the Beaster Bunny is the woman, she breaks the crazy animal control guy out of a mental hospital, which is played by Colonial Jail.
Yeah, it does. It's obviously like one of those like old-timey buildings from the 1700s that you would like pay $3 to walk around and then have ice cream afterwards.
Yeah, so she breaks him out, and he's been drugged up with something, so she gives him this carrot costume that she just
it's not a carrot costume. It's a prison jumpsuit.
I know it's a prison jumpsuit, but it's meant to be a carrot costume.
Yeah, but so like it's feasible that she could have stolen that, but the fact that she took the time to make the carrot, the leafy carrot.
Yeah, I'm curious about where she get the whole thing from. So she got these. We don't know where she got them. Probably prison jumpsuit from prison of some sort. And then you make him wander around while she stands on top of a building with a shotgun, in the hope that the bunny, you know, at its variable size, will hop right beside that building at the right height for her to shoot it in the head.
Yeah, she says to her dad, Dad, where do you keep the guns? He goes, downstairs in the gun cabinet. The key's next to the gun cabinet. Marked gun key.
Yeah.
And they filmed that part. They couldn't even find somebody with a gun cabinet.
Yeah.
They filmed that part in a firearm shop. Like, you could still see the price tags and everything, and they filmed her separately.
Yeah, she just enters this room, which is apparently the gun cabinet, and it's just like rows upon rows of a gun shop.
And someone says to the mayor, like, when all the shit finally goes down, she's like, do something, shoot it. He's like, we don't have any guns. I'm like, Allentown is, like, right in the heart of deer country. That's like a lot of people have their hunting license. Most people probably own a firearm. Maybe they didn't bring it to the... Well, Pennsylvania, I don't think it's concealed carry state, so they probably didn't bring it to the town festival or whatever, but...
And
it was just so smirkingly self-aware, and that's what I didn't like.
I don't think it was self-aware, but it was deliberately not very... It was... They weren't trying to make something great.
Yeah. But they, like... But it's so different from Carousel, which was fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the difference is.
Carousel was fun.
Yeah, but, like, what quality made it fun that Beaster Bunny lacked?
It being fun.
That's a serious sentence I just said. What quality makes Carousel fun that Beaster Bunny lacked?
It was fun.
Okay.
That was the big quality. Of course, with this one, they don't even actually explain why the bunny was giant.
Yeah.
Ever, at any point. They even pointed out the last line of the film is, I wonder why the bunny was giant.
And they stand there, like, pondering that during the credits.
For minutes.
Aye.
Oh.
So...
I don't even think this is going to be fun enough to review. I mean, I have a lot of films, and it's like, I can think of a lot of ones that I'd rather review than that.
You know what it is? I feel like it's review bait. That's what I feel like. I feel like it's specifically for people like us to go on the internet and be like, oh my god, you guys, it's the Beaster Bunny review. Oh no, like there was one shot, the shot in the beginning, like really the crazy dog catcher looked a bit like Phallus, but I think it was the angle because he didn't look like that again. But like this is exactly it's to bait YouTube horror reviewers.
Adam Driver.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of
that's it. I don't know where did I get Adam Walker from. Maybe it's somebody I know. But anyway, yeah, so I feel like it's like how I remember Yahtzee Kershaw saying once that the Desert Bus, kind of felt like one of those games to bait, internet reviewers. Although
Desert Bus had a point. It was done by Penn and Teller.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember what the point was, but they said they had a point.
It was kind of like, I don't know, just everything about this annoyed me. Oh, at least it was only 80 minutes long. I mean, it still felt like the longest movie. Like, I ended up playing Magnetic Balls on my phone, and you were, like, looking at Twitter.
I was looking at other things.
Yeah. So, that's that Easter Bunny for you. I can't recommend it.
But we know why you're really here.
We're gonna talk about Doctor Who.
Well, you're really here because you're sitting at your desk listening to us because...
No.
You're like, I love you, Omega.
They all want to
marry you.
They might have ripped the MP3 off YouTube and they're listening to it at the gym.
Oh, I know at least one person has. You listen to yourself in the gym?
No,
wow.
I listen to podcasts at the gym. Actually, I listen to...
It's like golden one levels of self-obsession.
No, I listen to... I have...
She's on the treadmill going like, I am so good. Listen to my voice. It's the sexy.
Actually,
what a wonderful point.
Actually, I don't think my voice is sexy, quite honestly.
Yeah, you're not admitting it.
Well, no, actually, I listen to old episodes of Let's Drown Out while I work out. But yeah.
Work out.
Actually, I don't make any noise when I work out. It's creepy.
You are way too busy listening to yourself.
No, it's because I started using the rowing machine because for a while it was really stupid. Like the electric lock blew, so they couldn't get to the main gym. Like part of the it's in the sports hall at the uni, and there was an exam going on, so the guy couldn't go down into the sports hall and mess with the fuse box. So I wasn't just gonna go home, so I had to use the rowing machine for like a half an hour until a locksmith came, and then I went and used the treadmill for the second half hour. But I was like, wow. I felt like I burned a lot more calories. I got a more complete workout. So, but it's not like people just going. No one makes those noises.
Well, you just did.
At least not when they're working.
When you listen to this in the gym later on, you will make those noises again in your own ears.
We commend you, audience. But anyway,
we watched Doctor Who. What was the episode called?
Knock Knock. Who's there? Stop that, because then the people upstairs will be like, "Would you shut up?"
Oh no.
Actually, our neighbor upstairs is kind of quiet. We've actually never heard him. Like, we can feel through the floor when the neighbors downstairs are using their washer.
Yeah.
But, because, like, the floor kind of shakes. But...
The ceiling and floors are very thick here.
Which is a good thing.
But everything else is really, really bouncy with audio. That's why our audio's a bit shit.
Yeah. But anyway, so we saw the episode from, like, 4 weeks ago? A month ago. Knocked on. And it was really good. Although it always kind of weirds me out when David Suchet speaks with an English accent. I'm used to, like, a Belgian accent.
Well, if he's listening to this, hopefully he will, in his day-to-day life, pretend to be French just to make you feel better.
Thank you. David Suchet, if you're listening, write the show. But also, if you've never seen Poirot Investigates, you can get it on DVD. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere.
David Suchet, or as he's known in Pennsylvania, David Suchet.
No one says that.
Oh, you call a sauce sachet a sachet.
It's a sachet.
Would you like a sachet of sauce, Mr. Suchet?
No, because his name is that. I said fillet the other day, just because you guys all say it and it's freaking rubbing off on me.
Yeah,
I was like, we have 2 fillets of fish left if you want.
Yeah, Northern Ireland says the word fillet like a redneck.
Fillet.
On a fillet of fish.
So I do. Right now.
Aye.
Nar.
Sure, it'll be grand.
I have a classmate who's fantastically brilliant. She's from Belfast.
Belfast.
And occasionally she'll be like talking, giving a presentation, she'll be like, so anyway, now we're gonna look at this, and I'm like, oh no, you said it.
Situation.
You know what?
Flag.
Nobody says situation except my peace and conflict, the social psych professor, and she also says characteristic.
Characteristic.
And
wow.
it drives my classmates crazy, but I don't mind it because she's really nice and she's a good professor, and I do well in her classes. So
sorry about the cars. We went to another place we can film this, and for some reason people are driving around. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and people are still driving
on a Sunday night. On a Sunday night, mind.
Yeah.
In a town that closes at 6 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Except the pubs. But yes, so we watched Knock Knock, and oh my god, I just love Bill so much. She's just so
Bill's awesome.
great. Like, she's the companion we knew who's been waiting for, and I really hope she stays.
Yeah, Bill is phenomenal.
Time Lord. What's that? Is that your job? No, it's my race. That sounds really formal and posh. I'm a Time Lord, doff the cap.
The longer this goes on, the more irritated I am that season 9 exists, because we could have been away from Clara. We could have had Bill. You could have had
but we might not have had Bill. Like, that actress might not have been in the considering back in the day.
Yeah, it probably would have been the girl with the dream crabs. But basically, I can see the same writing happening with her.
She would have been cool. I liked her.
Yeah, she was clearly being set up as the new companion for whenever Clara was, because she was supposed to leave at that episode, and then she changed her mind at the last minute, and so they
don't care that you're in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Who's in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Clara.
What?
Isn't she?
No, she was in Captain America: First Avenger.
Oh, okay.
She said like one line.
Oh.
It's Amy that's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, right. Well, she's covered in so much makeup, I can't tell. She doesn't have her accent. So I get easily confused. I hate Clara.
Yeah, out of all the Doctor Who people, only Amy and David Tennant are in the MCU.
You know what was Clara's problem? I'll tell you what Clara's problem was.
Clara's
cameo. Right? She thought she was smarter than the Doctor.
Yeah.
You know what? And, like, I get that hanging around with the Doctor, like, you do kind of feel special, like, oh, it's just aliens, you know, oh, it's just Daleks. But the thing is that all of the companions, like, in the classic series, like, didn't have that attitude that they were smarter than the Doctor.
Except for Romana.
She was a Time Lord, though.
Yeah, but she still did. Adric on occasion, but him being a cunt like that was kind of what made him...
That was his point.
Everyone hated him.
Well, like I said, Romana's different because she wasn't human.
Yeah, but still Romana was very much like that.
Yeah, but I think that got justified by her being a Time Lord.
Yeah, it was, and the entire point of the Doctor and Romana teaming up was the Doctor being like, okay, maybe Romana is technically smarter than him, we don't know, but maybe
My
she
scarf's
is.
Better.
But he has more life experience.
Yeah.
He's more streetwise, yo.
I mean, like, it just seems to me that, like, all the classic companions understood, wow, okay, I'm just so-and-so person. Like, this guy's a fucking superhero, you know?
Yeah, in Classic Who, generally, it's, here I am, I'm a person with this personality from this time and place, I'm going on adventures, I'm friends with the Doctor, or possibly another kind of relationship with the Doctor, but still basically friend.
Yeah.
And I'm just interacting with it. New Who has the thing about making everyone fucking special and incredible, and the Doctor only brings you along with him because he sees that you have greatness in you. It's like, no, fuck that. The companion is supposed to be the window into the world, the audience identification figure.
Yeah.
And making them a fucking superhero destroys the purpose.
Yeah, like, I identify with Bill because she's a poor student. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can get that.
Bill
like,
is
and even
Rose done right.
I mean, like, even when the companion is, like, modern and like, you know, kind of like, oh, doctor. I mean, like Perry pulls that off pretty well, Nicole O'Brien. And I know that people really dislike Perry. And if you do, I would encourage you to buy some of the Big Finish stories with her and the Sixth Doctor. Because their audio adventures are fantastic, and Perry really comes into her own.
And if you dislike Perry, I would like you to encourage you to shove your own head up your ass.
Well, she was
because Perry is awesome.
Like, I mean, I can see how like people have feelings about the Sixth Doctor's run, you know, and you know what? I would say the same thing about Mel. That one story where she spends like there's a Big Finish arc where she spends like she's a few hundred years.
Oh, the one with the Valyar.
Yeah, looking it through the Matrix and goes through fucking hell and back, and I'm like, damn girl, and it's like the actual actor.
That was a good story because Mel is such a crap companion. It was nice to see her get a companion where she got enough time to,
like, really mature, kind of.
Yeah, which you couldn't really do in the show without giving her years upon years upon years upon years. So that worked. Yeah.
I like Edith Smythe too.
Yeah, she's good.
Now, unfortunately, her voice actress did pass away. I want to say, like, maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah, Maggie Staples.
But definitely, if you're into Big Finish, or if you're into the audio adventures, definitely check them out. Because she's an older character. She's an older woman who's a historian. And she's a great foil for the Sixth Doctor.
Yeah.
So
she takes none of his shit.
Yeah, she'll be like, Doctor, I did it just how could you do such a thing? And he'll be like, I don't know what to tell you.
But with this one, okay, like a lot of good episodes of New Who, this one probably would have worked better as a 4-part classic story. It is a bit like Mummy and the Orient Express in that way. This one, with the way it's constructed...
You do rush right to the power moment.
Yeah, you do. With this one, giving it time to breathe, make it a 4-parter, that would essentially make it up to 100 minutes. Mm. Make it a slow burn. Make it, have... slow between each people's murder or vanishing, grabbing, that sort of thing.
Well, that's really is a suffering point of the 41-minute format. Is that like there's that tipping? I would call it the tipping point, and you can see it a lot in. Well, okay, the tipping point is a common cliche, but it's a phrase that I used to think about this. Like in a horror movie where like some characters like things aren't right, but there's that one moment where okay, it's evident to everyone, shit is fucked. It's not the wind. It's not just a rat in the walls. Shit is totally fucked. And I think that sometimes that tipping point just comes so quickly. You're like, all right.
Yeah, with of course, New Who hasn't worked this out to such a degree that even in season 9, when they were doing multiple 2-parters, they didn't give us actual 2-parters. Mm. They gave us 2 loosely connected 1-parters that were sort of stuck together. Right. Because if you look at those stories, like the stories were not one story. I can't think of any from season 9 which were one story. It was just a case of, we got this bit of the story, then we go to this bit of the story.
Yeah, like Heaven Sent and Hellbent.
Yeah, the Witch is Familiar, the Wizard's assistant, whatever you call it. These were the one Under the Lake and the one with the ghost in space. These are not... it's not... To make a proper 2-parter, what they should do is take a story and stretch it into two parts and let it breathe. With New Who, it's like they just ran with it and just made it 2 loosely connected ones and jammed them together. It's really irritating.
We got to see David Suchet being vaguely menacing.
I'm David Suchet.
And we get to see potato bugs. Alien potato bugs.
Yeah, the nice Scottish guy who had the nice...
Oh yeah, that was
such an ideal way to deal with someone coming out. That was great. He goes, I was never in with a chance anyway. Awesome.
I liked how that was kind of like Russian.
If you ask...
You have the worst Scottish accent. Your parents are even Scottish.
I know, but in my defense, if you talk to a Hollywood dialect coach, which I'm sure you're all friends with, they will tell you that the Russian accent and the Scottish accent are actually very similar.
It is, but your man was obviously from like the Glasgow suburbs.
Oh?
So it wasn't like, laddie up the Highlands kind of thing that everybody likes to do.
So... I'm crying out.
No, it was cute because he obviously, like, he was, like, flirting with Bill. And she's like, do you fancy me? And he's like, she's like, you're not my type. And he looks, like, angry and dejected. And I thought, he's going to be, like, a bad little bastard about it for the rest of the episode. She goes, I prefer girls. He goes, so I never had a chance. Great. Oh, no problem. I think that's great. Because I think that does, I mean, I'm not a guy, but I feel like that does kind of come to, like, a bit of the core, like, on the unconscious core of getting rejected by a girl that... like a guy's like, I wasn't good enough to be whatever she wants. But then if it's like she wouldn't have wanted me anyway, just because I'm a guy, oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, guys, or however defines themselves as guys, post below, if I'm right or not, because I feel like that might be like one of those like, is it a toxic masculinity thing? Is it just a thing? I mean, like...
Honestly, I think it's more along the lines of, you are not being rejected.
Like you almost create a straw man, like, idea in your head of like someone that she would have wanted or, was measuring you against, even if that's not entirely the case. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although, do girls do that too? I don't know. Being gay, I don't think about this kind of thing.
Anyway, well, there's a lot to talk
about.
Gender
politics!
There's a lot to talk about.
So controversial!
How would you
house
describe
is beautiful.
The wooden woman, because I don't want to give away the twist ending.
It's a really good twist.
It was a well thought out, clever, made perfect sense twist ending, so,
I was like, I was like, damn! I didn't see that. Damn!
But, I'm not entirely sure how much of that was makeup, how much of that was prosthetics. At least part of it was prosthetics.
Yeah, because you could see the way her mouth was moving and...
Yeah, but it was done very, very well.
Yeah. I was probably practical makeup with maybe a little bit of shine effects.
I'm really sad Doctor Who Confidential isn't around anymore, because...
Was that like a behind-the-scenes show?
Yeah, time was, you would get, for the first 6 years of New Who, you would get right afterwards on BBC Three, a 45-minute documentary about the episode and how they made everything with interviews with the cast.
BBC probably doesn't have any more money anymore.
Yeah,
the Tories took it away.
Yeah, basically.
Although, I know that it's like a big trope in the UK that, Doctor Who's on, oh no, I watch from behind the couch because I'm scared. But, like, this is an episode I could see scaring the bejesus out of we kids.
Good.
Especially, like, the part where, like, they meet the wooden woman and, like, her one hand comes from behind a thing and you hear her voice. I was like, oh no, what's going to happen now?
Good. The children are supposed to be scared by Doctor Who.
Well, I think that's a tradition from the first Doctor when they were literally scared of Doctor Who because he like, hit them with a switch. But, no, it was a really good episode, and, like, I don't know how to say this without sounding, like, offensive, but this is, like, the first season that I've really seen you, like, be truly joyful and happy about the show. Because usually you're like, oh, it was bullshit and crap, and in 1973 they did this, and it would have been better.
They mispronounced Metebelis.
Oh my god, she went on for, like, 2 hours about it. I'm like, okay, I get it. No, honey, no, I get it. Maybe Matt Smith was just tired, all right? I mean, I don't know
Matt Smith had no idea how to pronounce it. Stephen Moffat says he only saw that part of the episode after it was edited, and it was too late to get him to redub it.
He was like, oh no.
And he was like, oh no, fans are going to yell at me.
There's going to be forum threads about this one. But, like, it's actually made me really happy because, like, I know how much you care about Doctor Who, and it just makes me happy to see you, like, having so much joy about the show.
It's nice for you to finally get evidence that I actually do like Doctor Who.
I never said you didn't.
I know there's a lot of people, for some reason, who think I do hate it. And, you can see it full-on evidence that I do actually like the show, so I'm really happy when it's doing well. I mean, I've seen all the episodes of this series so far, and yes, Pyramid at the End of the World is crap, but it's not review worthy. So Series 10 right now, by far the best series of New Who, the best series of Doctor Who since season 26.
Well, apparently Class has not been doing well.
Yeah, they're not getting a second series.
We got like about 4 or 5 teen novels in, and like, they were trying to make it like a teen series, and they went out just as quickly. They were returned just as quickly because they didn't sell.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, it's like Doctor Who without Doctor Who. So it's like, oh, Gotham was like Batman with no Batman.
But the one big irritation I have about this episode is the very, very, very end. The fact that they magically managed to bring back the students.
No, because she's the last will that she had through the bugs, because they got totally consumed by the bugs. So that was the last bit of her consciousness.
I realize that's what they're saying, but the bugs ate them. So.
No, they didn't. They phased with them. They became part of it, so they could give that matter back.
Well, like, why couldn't you release the other ones? The ones from all time. It wouldn't have
Because
bothered me.
because that was 20 years ago.
How do we know? So, we
Because
know,
he said every 20
we know
years.
it was 20 years ago. How do we know that? Why is one person who is dead and being consumed by the house not bring backable, but the other ones are?
Because one might have been too long, or two, like those people, or left a long, long time ago. You know, she might like, even if she constantly made the decision, these kids were just taken like within the last hour. You know, it's not like their family thought that they were gone for the past 20 years. Wow. So it might have been an act of compassion. Oh, you didn't think of that, do you? You're always poking plot holes, and I'm always solving them with the power of writing.
No, I maintain that it is no stupider to bring back all of them, and I would have preferred either bring back them all or don't bring them any of them back.
Maybe that's the second part of the episode where like they like rise kind of half zombified from the ashes of the house and then terrorized East London. You don't know, or what? I don't know what part of it.
I would have preferred if they didn't come back at all. Because one of New Who's irritating tropes is that
no
they
one
like
dies.
they like to do that.
Well, the kid died in
Yes,
in
Thin Ice.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying they do it every time, but they like the trope.
It might be a standards thing, like the BBC, like because times have changed, things have changed. BBC might be like, okay, a little bit less on the murder, please.
No, I didn't. No, definitely not. Considering what happens in the next episode.
Okay.
Oh.
At least of children or like teenagers. Or
it's a Moffat thing. Moffat is the one who did the Everybody Lives. Moffat likes that.
I'm just surprised that they got the rights to use 2 Little Mix songs. Yes, I know who Little Mix is. We have BBC One radio on in the break room. But like, and that was actually a plot point that Bill has an entire folder of Little Mix on her phone. And I'm like, ooh, how'd they get the rights to that? Oh, that must have cost them a bit. Or maybe like Little Mix was like, oh, that's great, I want to be in Doctor Who. I don't know. If your music's been on Doctor Who, write the show.
Doctor Who? You're supposed to kill all the guest stars.
Well,
Look
David
at
Suchet.
Horror of Fang Rock. It is the greatest Tom Baker story.
Oh, David Suchet.
Everyone died. Everyone.
Stop it. But yeah, no, I mean, the season has been really good, and I mean, I like completely even forgot that it was a thing because it's been so long, you know. I'm like, oh, that's right, Doctor Who still exists. Yeah, we had a year off, a year and a half.
We did, yeah, because I don't want to make a suggestion about how and why it happened, but it's like, Jesus Christ.
Although you do kind of have to feel bad for Patrick Ness because everyone made a big deal of him being signed on as the head writer for Class. And in all fairness to him, he is a fantastic teen writer. Like, he's been in the business for decades, and his stuff is very highly acclaimed. I've not read any of it, but it always sells really well. His newest book, it came out, I want to say, like, about a year or so ago. I think it's called We All Just Live Here. And, or, is that the title? Or no, I Just Live For, something like that. But it's, like, in a world where, like, most people have, like, superpowers, but, like, you know, some people just don't. And the story is, like, about, like, this kid who goes to high school, like, literal, like, superheroes. He's just a normal kid. And I'm like, this is a pretty cool angle.
Bullied.
Actually, no, he doesn't.
Fucking normie?
No, he doesn't. It's like the sci-fi guy. Anyway. But I felt bad because everyone made a big deal about Patrick Ness being attached and it not doing well makes me feel bad because, you know.
I still haven't seen Class. I mean, I
don't care.
The idea of doing a YA type thing set in Coal Hill School did not interest me. I mean, maybe if they got William Russell to play Ian fucking Chesterton, maybe.
Yes.
But I could care less. I'm going to watch it at some point, but I haven't bothered yet.
I'll watch Torchwood eventually.
Torchwood is...
I saw the first episode because it had, like, half the cast of Dragon Age in it.
Yeah, that's why... I was like, look, that's a Dragon Age person. So's that. They're all mages. Isn't this great?
All mage party, all of the snark.
But the Torchwood is essentially... It is... The first series is so bad it's good. Whenever Torchwood's second series is less entertaining than the first one because it is so... They actually...
Doesn't it like become a Jack Harkness show?
Well, it is essentially... They turned Captain Jack into basically a version of the Doctor. In the same way they did with Sarah Jane Smith in the Sarah Jane Adventures. It's like they couldn't conceive of having a different type of lead. It's really weird. But Torchwood Series 1 is very up and down. It is mad. It is meandering. It's all over the place. Different writers with different tones. It doesn't gel at all. And that's why it's hilarious.
Is there like a bisexual pterodactyl or pterodactyl rape or?
There's a pterodactyl. There's a lot of bisexuality, and there's rape.
Okay, I don't know why I confabulated it.
Series 2, they were actually making a better show, which paradoxically made it much less entertaining. Then Series 3 actually managed to make it a good show, and then Series 4 just made it a bit dull and overlong.
Well, I have an idea for a new feature in Lesbian Talk. At the end, we should have a question for the comments. I know we always say, hey, comment below things and stuff, but I've been thinking about this while we were filming, recording. So you guys, you know how you get a DVD, and it comes like, there's the DVD in the case, that's shrink wrapped, right? But then it's in like a cardboard sleeve with the cover, the cover and the back cover, and it's the same. Are you supposed to keep them? I've always wanted to know, like, I always felt like I should, but then I'm like, why am I bothering? Like, there's just, like, I don't understand why it's there, you know? It's not a security thing. Guys, do you keep them? Like, do you want to keep your DVDs in the mint condition with a cardboard sleeve? I need to know this.
The only one of these that I keep is my one original DVD release of Iron Man. Because the outside of it is Iron Man being all Iron Man-ish. And then you, in the circle on the chest where the arc reactor is, you've got a little thing go out. And then it's got a hole in the cardboard. So you take the DVD, you throw the cardboard away, and you've got Tony Stark there, and then you've got him wearing a top, but it's the same arc reactor because it's got a hole in the cardboard. I guess that is really clever.
Yeah, but like
it's the only one I do.
For like like a 5-pound one or like from the pawn shop. Do you guys keep them? Do you do it to keep them in mint? She threw it across the room.
No.
You do it to keep it in mint condition? Like, if you don't, do you feel guilty? Because sometimes I feel like I should be safe.
The cardboard gets beaten up very easily.
I don't know. I don't know why it's there, and it bothers me. I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
So you can recycle.
Alright, so that's the question for the comment. So, this has been Lesbian Talk episode. I have been the Omega Geek, and honey, who do you want to have been this week?
I want to have been someone. I've been reading that biography of James Fitzjames.
Oh, you have that.
So, James Fitzjames.
James Fitzjames.
Arch nemesis of Francis Crozier.
Hero of the Apple Tree.